Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super exciting eyeshadow palette review, and this is going to be the latest launch from Too Faced that kind of got sneakily released and then taken down. So I guess it wasn't supposed to be out, but I managed to snag the new Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Stripped palette. I bought this off of Nordstrom. Trend Mood 1 actually posted it yesterday, and I ran over to the website since it was available. Bought it, did overnight shipping because I was super excited, and I noticed a few hours later it was saying sold out. I don't know if it was actually sold out or if they just took it down, because I've seen some things here and there that are saying that it might not be released until March 31st. So that's all I've heard for dates and stuff. It could be earlier, it could be later. I do not know. But yeah, I did snag this early, and I think it will be available soon from Sephora, Ulta probably, Nordstrom obviously, Too Faced, and probably Macy's. I'm guessing. I think it's going to be available most places, and it retails for $52, which is interesting because the palette that this is kind of a continuation of is called the Born This Way Natural Nudes. This one's called Born This Way Sunset Stripped. This one's actually $49, so I'm not sure why this one was $52, if it has to do with like supply demand. I know there's a lot of people raising prices right now due to the supply issues and stuff like that. I have no clue. So we are going to be going over this palette today. Of course, I will be doing comparisons to the original Natural Nudes palette because from the pictures it does look similar, so I want to see what the differences are, but I also want to give you an in-depth review on this one with two looks and some comparisons. My friend Leora is also doing this video today. We both love Too Faced. We review pretty much all their collections, so definitely check her video out as well. I think we're going to upload at the same time so you guys can get another opinion. I'm curious to see what she thinks as well. I'll have her video down below. So here we go with the packaging. Sunset Strip, so very California vibes here. Even has a little palm tree on the back, and the inside also matches. And then these are the shades. We do get a mirror in there as well. So here is a little close-up of what we are working with here. It's a neutral, I would call it a neutral warm palette. Maybe the original is a little bit more cooler, but there is some similarities for sure. But that is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. Let's go ahead and swatch it. I want to do swatches one by one to really get into these colors. The first shade is a matte called High Tide, and this is a peachy neutral matte. Next we have a bronze shimmer. These feels so creamy. This one is Sun's Out. Definitely a golden bronze. Look at how metallic that is. So pretty. Next up we have Sun Chaser, which is kind of a medium matte brown. Really nice crease shade. Next we have Shell Yeah. This one is a little bit more of a powdery shimmer. It's not as creamy as some of the other ones. It looks almost like a little bit of a topper because it has some like peachy gold aspects to it, but it's on the lighter side. Definitely not as metallic as that one. Next we have this peachy kind of color. It's a peachy mauve called Golden Hour. We have a metallic burgundy. This one is So Hot. Another one that's like almost a cream feeling color, just super metallic. We have Cocoa Glow, which is the darker brown in the palette. It looks like this. And we also have another kind of more powdery shimmer, which is almost a duochrome. It's like a green gold duochrome called Sandy Cheeks, and that's what that looks like swatch. So that one's almost like a topper kind of shade. We have another duochrome looking shade, which is Shall We Dance. This one's like a pearly pink duochrome, a little bit more powdery. We have another nude matte called Nude Beach. It's a little bit lighter. Next we have this kind of pinky creamy shimmer called Surfboard. This is one of the high metallic ones. One of my favorites in the palette probably. We have another peachy nude. This one's pretty light. This one is Butter Pecan. It's a matte. And then a shimmer. This is like a copper metallic one. This is Hey Honey. We have a matte kind of burgundy red, which is Chai Times. A super dark bronze, metallic, super shimmery. This is Bonfire Babes. Just like melts into the skin. And then lastly, we have kind of this dark, I thought it was black, but I think it's more of a black brown called Black Sand. It's like a super rich chocolatey brown. And that is the Swatches. Beautiful color story, swatched amazingly. I love these gorgeous like creamy metallics that are in the palette. They definitely feel creamier than the original. So now that we have swatches done, you guys got to see all the shades, each and every one up close. I'm going to share 2 looks I did. I just really wanted to test out the colors, including this one I have on. So let's get into that. All right guys, we're going to dive into the palette here. I think I'm going to attempt 2 looks today as well. I want to do something a little more warm, and then I also want to experiment with that dark black in the palette to see how good that is. So first shade we're going to take is Golden Hour, and I'm going to mostly be using my BK Beauty 202 brush. This is one of my favorite eye brushes, and I did prime my eyes with Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which is one of my favorite primers. So I just am tapping the excess off, and we're gonna put that right into the crease. This looks very peachy on the eyes. It's giving good pigmentation and it seems to be blending well. There is some fallout dipping into the pan, but it seems comparable to the amount of fallout that's in the original Natural Nudes. Next we'll take Chai Times, also lightly in the crease. Just kind of building that up. That makes it a little bit more red. And then with the same brush still, I'm taking Cocoa Glow, which is that deeper brown in the palette, and blending that in the outer corner. I wish it was just a little bit deeper right off the bat, because I did have to build it up twice, but it seems to be blending okay to me. I'm going to mix those 2 shades on my lower lash line as well that we used. So right off the bat, from what I can see, this palette does seem a lot more warm than the previous Natural Nudes. I am wetting this brush here. This is the Sigma Cream color, but I love it for just like placing shadow on the lid. And I want to use, I think, this Surfboard color, which is like this pinky one. It looks like it has some gold in there too. So I'm just going to saturate my brush in that. And it seems ultra metallic, even more so than the original, because I did use the original this morning and I had to use my finger to get the metallic. So this one actually seems like it is a little bit more shiny. Definitely one of Too Faced's better shimmer formulas that I've seen. Leaving it like that, and then I'm just gonna try putting my finger in there just a bit. It feels so creamy. It almost feels like a cream to powder. Wow. Yeah, that just really amps up that shine. And I feel like I'm getting a scent from this as well. Something smells a little bit perfumed. So that's the eyes for this kind of more warm pinky toned look. Just kind of threw some mascara on for that, but I thought it was nice. First application, I didn't really have too many issues. I think I just wish that Cocoa Glow brown shade was just a little bit more pigmented, but it's definitely buildable. I didn't have any blending issues, and I was really surprised by those like creamy shadows. So I am gonna wipe this off. I might just like start fresh with new makeup and do look number 2. Alright guys, I took like my entire face of makeup off, and I'm going to start with the eyes, which is actually my favorite thing to do. If it is messy, then it's kind of nice just so I don't have to redo foundation or concealer or anything like that, but it seems like this palette doesn't have much fallout so far on the eyes. I am going to take, this time we'll use, these shades almost look identical. Let's do Nude Beach, which is this lighter taupey brown in the crease. Let me see how that looks next to Sun Chaser on the other eye, because it looks so similar to me. I just want to see what the difference is. Alright, Sun Chaser is like a tiny bit darker, but really, they are so stinking close. I want to deepen this side up and match it. Kind of doing the same technique as last time. This is always how I like to do my eyeshadow. I'm going to take Black Sand. I'm going to go in with actually a Sonia G crease number 2. I always like to see how the black shadows perform in a palette, since they can be a little more difficult. This one does not have as much fallout as some of the other lighter shades do, and it seems like it's a really nice black. It's not super pigmented. It's definitely one you need to build, but it's like really easy to use. Like sometimes if it does start out too black and you start blending and then it like doesn't want to blend out, sometimes it's nicer to have the lighter kind of shade so you could be a little bit more careful. It's almost like it's not quite a black, like almost like it's a chocolatey brown, which I'm not mad at either. But if you're expecting like a super pigmented black, this is probably not it for you. I'm gonna add just a little bit of warmth with Cocoa Glow here in the crease. I wanted to keep it a little more cooler, but I just want to deepen that up a bit and blend. Just taking the tiniest amount in the crease. I'm gonna use that same Sigma cream color brush, wetting it again. And we'll go for something very sultry. I'm gonna use Bonfire Babes. Ooh, that's gonna be my favorite shimmer, I think. I love like dark bronze shades like this. Those are some of my favorite colors to wear. Let me try Sandy Cheeks. This one looks more green. Okay, so I don't really like those as inner corner shades, but it's kind of almost a duochrome. Let me put this over top. It has like a really pretty green shift. Ooh, I just wanted to see what that would do. It adds like a tiny bit of a green gold shift to it, and this formula is a little bit different. It's not as creamy as the other shades. I'm probably gonna throw in some brown eyeliner underneath as well. And let me show you the look with the rest of my makeup all on. It will look completely different. Alright guys, here is the finished full face of makeup. I did throw some lashes on, and I feel like I always get asked about my lip color. Since we are doing Too Faced today, I decided to use the Too Faced Lady Bold lipstick. If you guys have not tried these lipsticks, they are so nice. This is in I'm Thriving from them. I'll have everything on the face linked down below. But I love how this bronze smoky eye came out. So stunning. Let's get into my final thoughts, and I know you guys are waiting to see the comparisons. So that is the two looks I did with this palette. I didn't really have any issues with it, and I actually thought the shimmer formula is a little bit improved than previous palettes, including the Natural Nudes one. I thought the shimmers were gorgeous. Besides these like duochrome shades, I'm not a huge fan of these. They seem more like toppers. They're not as intensely pigmented, but they are fun to kind of change up the different looks. But I wish it had that same creamy formula that the other metallics do have. There's 3 of these in the palette: Shall We Dance, Shell Yeah, and then Sandy Cheeks. Those ones don't have that creamy formula, but they are going to offer just a little bit of more kind of unique looks and add some fun sparkle and shine. I also thought that the shades in here blended really nice. I didn't really have any issues. I wish the darker shades were a little bit more pigmented, but you can still definitely build them up and get the depth that you desire. The mattes seemed really good. There wasn't like a ton of fallout on my eyes. There was some like in the pan that I made sure to tap off on my brush, but overall I thought the formula was nice. Definitely one of the best like Too Faced palette formulas that I've tried. It might even be a smidge better than the original, so I think it is a little bit more improved, especially in those shimmers. But let me show you guys these side by side, because I feel like in the photos when I looked at them I could see a lot more differences, and when I got them in person I'm like, wait, these do look very similar. So you guys are gonna be like, what the heck? Look at these side by side. Now, to anyone who is not like a big neutral palette lover, you're gonna be like, those look exactly the same. But I do spy some slight differences. There's a lot more warmth, more reddish going on here. This one's a lot more lighter pinks, and this one has more depth, I feel like, with that dark brown added in. Plus this has those more duochrome shades that this one does not have. So there's just those slight differences. I did swatch them side by side, and from far away they definitely look similar. Like, you're definitely gonna get similar looks out of these. I don't know if it's different enough to own both of them, but I kind of feel like I like the new one a little bit more than the original, just because I feel like the shimmers are a little bit more improved. I really like the smoothness of them, and I feel like you can't really tell that unless you get really up close and personal. From looking at them together at a distance, they do look almost the same, but let me show you what I mean. Let's do the original Sparkling Rum from the original palette. It's not nearly as creamy as the new one. and it's not as metallic. So compared to, let's take So So Hot from the new palette, it's just gonna add a lot more shine, and it just feels a lot softer and smoother. So once you get up close, you can notice those slight differences if you're wanting just more metallic payoff than the original has, but you're getting like similar tones. Let's also compare the original. Let's do Golden Light. This one's a little bit chunky. It's creamy too, compared to the new palette, which has Hey Honey. This one's just a lot smoother, I feel like, and a little bit more shiny, and it's not exactly the same tones either. So you really have to really get in there to see those differences. They're not exactly the same, but I feel like once you get them on the eyes, it'll look a little similar to me. You're gonna get similar looks for sure. You guys probably might have this color story already in your collection. There is a lot of palettes that do look like this because it is a popular warm color scheme, and the one I thought was very similar if we're duping other brands is the Anastasia Soft Glam. I feel like these are so similar, like they maybe tried to dupe them on purpose, because I'm just seeing very much of the same shades in each of these. This palette from Patrick Ta, this is one of my favorites. It's just called the Major Dimension. This actually was a really close dupe to the original Natural Nudes that I showed earlier from Too Faced, so I feel like these two are also going to be a little bit similar in tones. Let me put them side by side so you guys could see. Here they are. So you're going to get very similar looks. I do prefer Patrick Ta though over Too Faced formula. Patrick Ta is just hands down, it's one of my favorite palettes. There's just some differences too, like obviously Patrick Ta has creams. This one does not have creams. And the shimmers here are going to be more like metallic creamy, rather than Patrick's are a little bit looser, glitterier. But similar color scheme for sure. And just for fun, I wanted to just pull out my Cinnamon Swirl from Too Faced. This was from last holiday. I don't love the formula of Cinnamon Swirl. I think this new Sunset Stripped is definitely better, but I mean, there's some similarities there, not exactly. Cinnamon Swirl has a little bit more purples, and the Sunset Stripped is darker. And also another one that, I don't know, kind of has similar vibes is Natasha Denona Bronze. Not exactly the same, but you know what I mean. It's that warm color story again. One of my favorites too. I love Natasha's formula. So it's definitely a dupeable palette, that is for sure, but it really is a good Too Faced palette. Like, this is one of their best ones that they've come out with. I know you can't get it at this time I'm filming, but I'll have a link down below in the video once it does become available, and I will definitely share on my stories or my community tab here on YouTube when you can buy it. But hopefully it'll be available for the VIB sale coming up. I know Sephora has their sale coming soon in April. But that is going to be it for this video. Don't forget to check out Leora's video as well. I'm curious to see what she thinks of this one, if she has the same thoughts or different. But I will let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!